hot, the bright spot on your dial.
Darren, boop-a-doo, Lenny's on the live wire line.
930, the greater 3UZ.
Beatle headquarters in the Melbourne market.
The greater 3UZ. The station with the nicest listeners. The greater 3UZ. For active people on the go.
This is official B-Day, Beatle Arrival Day, and here is Alan Lappin, Lap in car 1 at the airport to tell you more about it. Lap, baby.
Thanks, Don. We're at the airport now, and on the tarmac, the atmosphere is electric. Well, the Beatles are just about over Melbourne at this stage. The motorcade has already pulled up on the tarmac right next to us here. There are two Morris 1100s, also a security police car, and a truck, a red truck that'll carry the Beatles around past the crowd on several runs. That's the story so far. Back to you, Don.
Thank you, Lap. We're getting you in loud and clear, my boy. On all the places between Essendon Airport and the Southern Cross Hotel, you are on air, in actual fact, part of our Beatle programming.
Greater 3UZ.
Official Beatle headquarters in the Melbourne market for sure.
Greater 3UZ. Dial 930. Fun Radio. The greater 3UZ. For fun, plan your everyday and your recreation with 930, your good time station. The greater 3UZ. It's great.
The Beatle aircraft touches down at Essendon Airport. We will bring you a live, on-the-spot coverage of the Beatles' arrival in Melbourne.
Oh yes we do. We love you Beatles, and we'll be true. When you're not near to us, we're blue. Oh Beatles, we love you.
Now sing it out big, because you're on UZ now.
We love you Ringo. Oh yes we do. No matter where you go, we'll follow you. When you're not near to us, we're blue. Oh, Ringo, we love you.
Alrighty, from Beatles' official headquarters, we now cross to the aircraft again. Les Heil is 1,500 feet above Melbourne's rooftops, and up there near the Beatles. Coming, Les.
15 miles from the city. Watch. They've gone past now. England's sensational Beatles passing the Essendon Hotel and moving up Alexander Road on the wrong side. Beatle fans, cross if you want to look at these boys. Cross the road to the other side. Back to Beatle headquarters.
Let's take you straight to, first of all, Alan Lappin in car 1.
Right, thank you, Beatle. Official control. We have Bob Rogers here to report more on the Beatle trip from Adelaide. As we left Adelaide, the interesting thing I thought was the way the teenagers sang "We Love You, Coppers" all night, and well, not all night, but up till about midnight, from 7 in the morning. And this is bound to happen here. There'll be teenagers besieging the hotel, and every so often they start singing "We Love You, Beatles." But the police did such a wonderful job in Adelaide, and no one got hurt, that the teenagers sang to them "We Love You, Coppers." The bus that the radio and pressmen were taken out to the airport in could hardly navigate the course and was held up for 10 minutes at one stage trying to get through the crowd. It looked, in fact, as though we would not be able to get to the airport. The 9 miles was lined entirely, and 24 policemen on motorcycle escort took the Beatles car out. The kids were throwing so many streamers that we thought for a while that the police might get pulled off their motorcycles with all these streamers around them. Inside the plane, John and Paul, this is show you how typically gentlemanly they are and how thoughtful, had heard that I'd had a wedding anniversary yesterday, and the first thing Paul said to me is, "Hello, Bob, happy anniversary," and John turned around and said the same thing, and I was very pleased. Right, thank you, Bob. There's a complete standstill here now at Essendon Airport. We'll take you back to official Beatle control at 3UZ.
You get the sound of the 60s on 3UZ around the clock each day.
Hello there. This is Beatle official headquarters, and you people out there in listening land, especially the Southern Cross Hotel. UZ's exclusive scoop radio contact with the Beatles' official car is still in effect. Moondoggy, hopped on board, is moving back to town with them, and we'll tell you exactly when the Beatles will be moving into the city area. And then we will start playing "We Love You, Beatles," and we want you good people down there. Moondoggy, if you can put them on. Down there at the Southern Cross Hotel to sing out as loud as you can, "We Love You, Beatles," to give them the best welcome they've ever received in the world. And if you're receiving us loud and clear at Southern Cross, you say hello there, 3UZ, as we say hello, fans. Hello there, Beatles fans! talk to all-night disc jockey John Vertigan at the Mooney Ponds Hotel. Come in, John.
Thanks, Don. The crowd has grown to massive proportions here. They did exactly the same as they did out at the Essendon Hotel, swarmed across to the other side of the road and then back again to where they originally were. You can hear the horn of the police car going now. They're clearing the way. The Beatle motorcade is definitely on its way, and hundreds of frenzied Beatle fans. Excitement is reaching fever pitch here. Higher vantage points are being sought. Coloured balloons have joined all the banners. Small pieces of newspaper are still flying about in the wind here. And not only teenagers and the very young, but members of the older generation, grandma and grandpa. Probably here to recall the days when they idolised such stars as Douglas Fairbanks, Rudolph Valentino, Bing Crosby and Sinatra. But the scene here rivals a royal progress. More electrifying, in fact, because of the screams and exuberance of the fans. There's been a dog running in through the crowds here, looking up as if to say, what's all the excitement about? The traffic lights have been turned off. The police on the scene have taken over, trying to control the crowd. They've gone completely out right across the roadway. They'll have to clear them back again so that the Beatle motorcade can go through. No sign as yet. My view has been obstructed here by a large Answer Day and A sign. I can see perhaps 200 or 300 yards up the road.
Well, we'll just leave you there for a moment. Let's go to car 2 that's driving in front of the Beatlecade.
Well, we're over here in Mount Alexander Road, and the scene's incredible at the moment. All you can see in front of us here are screaming teenagers. The mob is just fantastic. There are police sirens going at the back of us. People are screaming. A couple of people on the side here, I notice, are laying in the gutter. Obviously, they are not very well. They look as if they've collapsed. The teenagers are mobbing the car. It's very, very difficult to get through. Back to official Beatle headquarters.
Now let's take you up to our aircraft flying above the whole scene. Come in, Cessna.
It was only a matter of a minute or two ago that the Beatlecade was only a matter of around about 200 or 300 yards from the Mooney Ponds Hotel. Then it got almost completely jammed up in this tremendous crowd which is lining the route all the way into the city. However, now they're still having trouble to get through, but I think John Vertigan at the Mooney Ponds Hotel, you'll have one of our news cars in sight which is in front of the Beatlecade, and very shortly the car itself carrying the Beatles, which is immediately preceded by a police car, and the Beatles car itself is being flanked on either side by two motorcyclists, two police motorcyclists on either side. You will have them in sight within the next 30 seconds, I would estimate, because you should have had them passing you around about 4 or 5 minutes ago, but their progress has been so slow. Police at one stage tried to avoid some of the crowd by swerving across and getting to the other side of the road through a plantation, but immediately all the Beatle fans woke up this, and it was just like a wave of humanity from one side of the road to the other, right along the route as it continued down. Now, John Vertigan, I think that you should have the Beatlecade in sight just about now. If you don't, you will in the next 2 or 3 seconds. Would you like to take it from there?
Yes, Les, this very instant, the Beatlecade has come into sight, or the front car anyway, the police car. We can hear the loudspeaker going, warning the crowd to get right back to make way for the Beatlecade. Now the fans are getting very, very excited indeed. This is the moment they've all been waiting for. Many, of course, at the Southern Cross Hotel have been waiting for hours upon hours, as they have at Essendon, and within the last few hours gathering here on the route between Essendon and the Southern Cross Hotel. We see the 3UZ news car coming into sight now, followed by, well, there'll be 2 or 3 cars in front of the Beatles. You hear the screams now. It's a sight of fans jumping up and down, trying to get a glimpse of the Beatles, not yet in sight. You hear also a police siren clearing the crowd. They've pressed right in over the road, making it impossible for the Beatlecade to go through. Policemen frantically asking the crowd to move right back. Now the Beatlecade will go through where the trams normally go, through the tram tracks, which is a surprise to the crowd. They have to rush back over again. Police cars, I've never seen so many in all my life. This is fantastic. Fans are running. And there are the boys, the official car, the official Beatles car, going ever so quickly. You had to be quick to see the Beatles, believe you me. Roll over Melbourne, the Beatles are here. And now
Yes, and this part of the official Beatle Progress motorcade into town is brought to you by the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance. Beatle fans at Southern Cross is some 11 and a half minutes away from your point of view. Girls, next time you're in town, you go along and inspect the School of Elegance. Ask the friendly folk down there to show you around. They will. You'll be amazed not only at the beautiful studios, but at the many extra benefits and facilities provided you, the student, taking the finishing course. There's the Ellie Lucas Hairdressing Salon for a start, where students and general public alike too can obtain the best hair care at Melbourne's most reasonable prices. There's a gymnasium where students can exercise at any time they feel inclined. No extra charge. You can always have a shower and make up before going out to a show. You remember the best place to go for the best poise and deportment in the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance finishing course. That's the School of Elegance at 52 Russell Street here in Melbourne town, where beauty can be learnt. Ellie Lucas, bring you this part of the official Beatle motorcade as we go back to now the Beatles' official headquarters.
And let's take you now to car 2.
Well, car 2 is coming down now with the motorcade. The crowd was so fantastic here that they diverted us right across the road. We got stuck into the police escort itself and were waved off the road until the Beatles themselves passed us. They're now in front. They're finding it very, very difficult to get through as the crowds are right across the road. It's just one seething mass of humanity down here. Back to Beatle official control.
Now let's see how car 1's going with Alan Lappin and Bob Rogers. Car 1 come in.
We're in a heavy traffic block here at Essendon. We're still at the airport, Bob. The traffic is fantastic. We're moving along at about 2 miles an hour on the average. Here's Bob Rogers with more Beatle news. Last night, the Beatles performed for the last time in Adelaide, and their television show was on there, and they watched that. They enjoyed watching it, and immediately afterwards, they listened to a recorded broadcast of their own performance, which was made the night before. Now, you'll be hearing the Beatles' exclusive broadcast on 3UZ, 8 o'clock on Monday night, I think's the time. 8 o'clock Monday night. And it's a fantastic show. Maybe I should tell you a little bit about it. Or how can you describe this Beatles electricity, this magnetism? Why is it that more people have turned out here than would turn out for royalty? I don't know what the answer is, and nobody really does, but it's a personal magnetism, the likes of which we have never seen before, and I don't think we will ever see again, certainly not within the next decade or so. We'll take you back to official Beatle control.
And now let's see what's happening on the Beatles Progress. Let's take you to our Cessna flying above the whole scene. Come in, Cessna.
Still all the way to the city, the streets absolutely jammed with people, and people running from one side of the road to the other. At this moment, just at the Moody Ponds Junction, an ambulance leaving the area, trying to get through some of the crowd, has its light flashing. Would you please make way for this ambulance? It will probably divert soon, but if you see it in the near vicinity, make way for it. Now, the Beatles are approaching Flemington Road, or are actually in Flemington Road now, and are getting closer towards the city. I would estimate if they maintain their present rate that they should reach the Southern Cross within the next 8 to 10 minutes. The next 8 to 10 minutes, they will reach the Southern Cross Hotel. They'll go straight down Elizabeth Street, then make a left-hand turn into Collins Street. We have several broadcast points on the way in, and Don Rainsford will be at the point in Collins Street to broadcast as soon as they arrive in that area. In the meantime, we take you back to the studio, just repeating that all the way into the city, a fantastic sight, hundreds of people. It's hard to believe that you could get so many people in such a comparatively confined area, covering the route from the airport, 3, 4, 5, and in some places 10, 15, and 20 deep, practically all the way to the city. Back to Beatle control.
Beatles are in town. Hello, John, Paul, and George, baby. Now we go back to the Beatle motorcade. Come in car 3 to ensemble.
We're on Flemington Road here, and there's quite a group of kids around us, and it looks as though they're waiting for the grand final of the football. The motorcade with the Beatles on board is coming up to the intersection now of Flemington and Racecourse Road. They're standing on their toes, they're up in trees, they're jumping up and down, and we are going to try and join in with them. We have the one car in the front of the motorcade. If we can possibly go along, we will do so, but they are going to have a very hard time getting through the intersection of the Flemington and Racecourse Road. There are about 20 police there trying to get the people back. They're right across the road. Trams are at a standstill. Cars are absolutely impossible at the moment. And as I said, kids are jumping up and down and just waiting for the Beatles. We'll go back to official Beatle control in a couple of minutes. They'll be with us.
It won't be long before the Beatles belong to us, you good Melbourne people. By golly, down there at Southern Cross Hotel, let's make sure you tune our way. John, Paul and George on their transistors in their official motor car, tune to use that, but told by Moondoggy, our exclusive Scoop Radio hook up with them. Let's tell them that you're here, will you? You say hello there, 3UZ, when we say hello, Beatle fans. Here we go now, real big now. Hello there, Beatle fans! Now 13, a quarter to 4 o'clock. This part of the Beatle motorcade moving into Melbourne town is brought to you by the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance. And by golly, the winner of the Beauty Stakes and first favourite, a beautiful women everywhere, is undoubtedly Revlon. And along with the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance, we now cross back to Beatle control.
And car 3 is ready. Car 3, over to you.
Yes, they're about 100 yards behind us at the moment, and there is a solid wall of people in front of them. They won't be able to move through that. Police cars, lights flashing, sirens going, and they're literally driving their cars into the people. The people are pulling their small children out of the way. Kids are jumping up and down. They're in all directions. At the moment now, behind me, I'm right in the middle of Flemington Road, about 400-500 yards up from Racecourse Road, and we can hear the sirens, we can hear the screaming and cheering inside our car. We've got the car locked at the moment, so you probably won't hear much noise. The reason we've got our car locked is because it was nearly turned over a little while ago when a great surge of kids came forward to try. Here they come now, right up behind us. And police motorcycle it was, almost drove into the car with us. The rest of them are coming up behind now. As far as I can see, there are about 4 police cars in line. They've got their horns blowing, their sirens going, they've got all their lights on, and they just cannot force a way through. I'll have to try and get off the road at the moment, getting a bit of a blast here from the sirens and the police as they go right past. We're finding it very hard to get off the road because of the number of people here. They're right up beside us now, this huge police motorcycle escort as they're weaving their way around us now. The first official Beatle car is just about beside us. There are 2 courtesy squad cars. There they are, right beside us now. George looking out the window, the great big grin. There's a girl in front of us and she's literally gone berserk. She's leaping up and down. She'd win at the Olympic Games without any problem at all. She's going about 10 feet straight up in the air. And they're past us now, so we'll cross back to official Beatle control headquarters.
Thank you, Ronnie boy. By golly, it sounds frantic out there. We're in the comparative safety of the studio, although 200 Beatle fans invaded us just a while back. Word went out that Ringo was up here. He's not. He's in his room, but he's tuned to use that. This is the important thing. We're on here for the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance. This unit brought to you of the Beatle motorcade to the Southern Cross Hotel. Talking about Revlon just a moment ago, you can't go wrong with Revlon, girls, the world's finest range of cosmetics. Miss Ellie Lucas, a favorite among leading fashion models, always uses Revlon exclusively, and she always looks a swinging doll when we see her. Tell you that, hello, baby. And at a School of Elegance, Revlon takes pride of place at the finishing course. Young girls are taught the art of makeup under the guidance of expert beauticians. Why not call by, girls, and inspect the magnificent array of Revlon cosmetics displayed at the Ellie Lucas School of Elegance, 52 Rossa Street here in Melbourne town. Revlon, the world's finest range of cosmetics, always insist on that big name, Revlon.
This is it, Red 930, it's great.
The Beatles' official headquarters now crosses up to our Cessna aircraft. Let's hire.
Way before they get to the city.
Yes, thanks, Don. Everybody's having a go at once here. I tell you what, down on the ground, right outside the Royal Melbourne Hospital at the moment, just about up to, or the Royal Children's Hospital rather, not far from the Royal Melbourne, and then into Elizabeth Street. Then they'll go straight down Elizabeth Street, turn left into Collins Street. So I would say now, we gave you an estimated time of arrival at the Southern Cross a short time ago of a roundabout 8 to 10 minutes. I would say it's going to be near enough to 15 at the moment, because in between the Royal Children's Hospital and the Royal Melbourne Hospital, right at that intersection, police, there are around about 4 police there and about 4,000 people. The police are doing their very best to get the crowds back, but at this moment, the Beetlecade has absolutely no possible hope of getting through until the Beetlecade slows right down almost to a halt and is forced back by advanced police units. This will take them at least another 3 or 4 minutes, so I would think it's going to be near enough to 15 minutes before they get to the Southern Cross Hotel. But be patient there, people. It won't be long before you'll have the Beatles at your viewing point. In the meantime, back to Beatle headquarters.
Hey, it's a bit. 'Cause this is it. The Red Free, you said. Dial 930, it's great.
This is your Beatle buddy, Lonnie on the live wire line. And down there at the Southern Cross Hotel, everybody is tuned to use that way. I wonder, and they will only take notice of us. Please be orderly, you chums down there. Won't be long before the Beatles come into town. Move in an orderly fashion, but shout as much as you like. You can do that. Ringo is up there listening to it all. John, Paul, George are tuned to their transistor radios in the official Beatle car. Now let's sing the song for them. We'll do it once more before they get there, but let's just have a rehearsal. We'll just find out how much lung power they've got down there at the Southern Cross Hotel. Moondoggy, turn them up a bit louder. Hello there, Beatle fans! Song real loud now.
We love you, Ringo. Oh, yes, we do. No matter where you go, we'll follow you. When you're not near to us, we're blue. Oh, Ringo, we love you.
Here's Ringo from the Southern Cross Hotel, his own personal suite.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
We love you, John. Oh, yes, we do. We love the things you say, so wacky too. When you're not near to us, we're blue. Oh, John, we love you.
Now, come on, kids, the Beatles are listening to you. You're on air.
We love you, Beatles. Oh, yes, we do. We don't love anyone as much as you. Your singing makes us sing to you. Oh, Beatles, we love you.
Now, Beatles official control crosses to Neil Thompson outside the Southern Cross Hotel. Come in, Neil.
Well, right here at the Southern Cross Hotel, it's a terrific scene, the most fantastic scene I have ever seen. The barricades in front of me here have collapsed, and the thousands have swarmed across it and have swarmed across the road. Barricades up at Burke Street have also collapsed, and that swarm has also come down toward the main entrance of the Southern Cross Hotel. Police on horseback are battling with them. The kids are so excited they can hardly stop to think what they're doing, but still they're surging up non-stop like an irresistible spread from a dam. And of course it seems pretty obvious too that if this sort of crush keeps up, the Beatles certainly won't be putting up at the main entrance to the Southern Cross Hotel. It would be absolutely impossible. So boys and girls, if you're going to take any notice at all, if you want to see the Beatles, you're going to have to get back and give them room to get in, or some other arrangements are going to have to be made for them. What? I can't possibly imagine. Of course, the excitement down here is electrifying. It just needs one to scream and the whole lot scream, one to move and the whole lot move. It's the most fantastic, unbelievable sight you can possibly imagine.
Let's find out where the Beetlecade is now. Les Heil in the Cessna, where are they?
Just past the Royal Melbourne Hospital, going through the old Haymarket site, and in around about 2 seconds will be in Elizabeth Street itself.
What we can do is stand and acknowledge the tumult of the crowd. Guy in the pink shirt and the black vest and the tiled suit, putting away sunglasses now as if he needed them today, and waving to the crowd as grandly as possible. Young Paul, as ever the life of the party, is clowning for the crowd and grinning madly and waving furiously as though it's just like an ordinary everyday affair. Ringo is standing back and giving an occasional wave. He looks rather blue, I might add. He's shuddering and rubbing his hands, and the boys are rubbing each other's arms and flapping themselves as though they're a couple of penguins fresh from the Antarctic. But just listen to the mob. Just hear it. You might just have heard Paul say, "Hello, everybody, how are you?" The only audible thing we've heard so far. Now, Ringo's going to have a crack at it. couldn't hear a thing Ringo said, but he shook his bushy head and his hair flopped around everywhere, and that was enough for the fans, and they went mad once again.
This CD was created by John Vertigan on July the 4th, 2012, from the original tapes of the 3UZ broadcast of the arrival in Melbourne of the Beatles on the 14th of June, 1964. This is an important piece of pop music history.